It's the 18th season of the Youth Academy Challenge Save, and we have lost two affiliates, one with NTK Budapest and the other with Kodwika because they got promoted. So one because of promotion, the other because our board thought it wasn't worth our time. So I decided to try my luck and get a new affiliate. First things first though, Weber Kowalski has now got the highest average rating record with a 7.33 average rating over 38 appearances. The fact it's taken 11 years for someone to break the previous record says a lot. I asked for a new affiliate, the board said yes. They asked if I wanted to choose the affiliate, I said yes, and I have chosen my preference for who I want to be our affiliate. That team is Selena, and we have got a new affiliate. They're quite a good team in more ways than one. It's their facilities that's got my attention, and with the youth recruitment of 18 and junior coaching of 16, I have every reason to believe this could be the best thing we could have asked for. Oh, and the fact that we're in the Playable League as well absolutely helps us with our charge to try and get some exciting Slovakian players. In the meantime, Pavlak has gone to Kornik Sapshire for free. It was the end of his contract, they came for him, and I said I wasn't going to get in his way. So he's left after 333 appearances, 50 goals and 62 assists. He was quite the player, but the last couple of years just wasn't really played a lot, and it felt like the right time to let him go. Alexander Rusovic has also left us, and he wasn't as good as I was hoping he would be, but at the age of 26, a free transfer was probably the best thing we could have done for him, honestly. And yes, he never really made it into our first team permanently, outside of maybe one season. He was never gonna get my first team again, and he just spent a lot of his time out alone. It just made sense to let him go after all this time. I hope he does well for his new club. But then we sold Adrian Vusek for 1.6 million. I thought I could probably get a bit more, but we didn't. And Pogon Svetsin was the only team that really came in for him, so it's not the end of the world here. I think that given he played so many times for us over the years, the fact he got 26 goals in 266 appearances is great, and he got 30 assists in that time as well, so he wasn't like he's a bad player. But the guy was consistent over the years, and he's helped us with many things, won numerous trophies over the seasons, and it made sense to let him go. But then this still happened. Alexander Brem has left us for £4 million. Jure came in, offered 3.6. I asked, can I have about 4 million? They said yes. He's a squad player that's been paid 22 grand a week. I think I've done well to get that much for him, honestly, but he's been so good for us over the years. And he played 295 times for us, scored 53 goals, and got 47 assists with 23 player of the match awards. I'm not counting the second team stuff, by the way. That's only 3 appearances of goal, but he was good for us over the years, and I think he's absolutely earned his right to have the move. He asked if he could leave. I said yes, because we got players we want to bring into the first team that, honestly, he was blocking the way of. So he's now gone, and I think we've done well to get £4 million for him. It also shows you that potentially we're really good when he's considered a good Ekstraklasa player now, but there you go. Congratulations to him for the move. I hope he has fun in Spain, in the second tier of Spanish football. With those two sales, our odds actually didn't go down because we were 7-2 odds on to win the league this year, and those two departures actually did make a difference. So as far as I'm concerned, I've made the right call to sell them. With young players coming through, but we're going to take the spots of the players that I've just sold, it makes sense to let them go. I do need to potentially move on some more players in the future. Novak's had some people looking at him, but no one's really ready to take his spot yet. And as far as I'm concerned, if no one's ready to take their spot, I'm not sending anyone. That being said, we've had a few offers. Krokoshoks had an offer of £5.5 million from Fortuna Düsseldorf. I've turned down. Smolik had an offer from Anderlecht. I've turned that down. Kimmich wants to leave for Watford. They've offered 6 million up front with the total fee of going up to 22.5 million. I'm not happy with it, but he wants to go to Watford because he feels that it's a better league and a better competition. They're 4-star team, yes. However, our facilities are better, even if they could offer him lots and lots of money, and they're like a mid-table team in the Premier League. I'm not letting him go because, well, even though he can get around twice as much money than most other players will ever get, I don't feel like letting him go anytime soon. So he can stop whining now and actually play. It's gotten to the point that he's actually had 5 other players wanting to back him. Victor Madura also is upset because I left him at the training camp. Honestly, wasn't my plan. I might send him out on loan again though. And the fact that he's a 2.5-star player that is considered good enough for the Ekstraklasa again is useful. I might just get rid of this guy because I think he's actually now getting to the point that he's frustrating me more than I like to admit. And he's also one of my 12 clubs. So if I can get any of these clubs to offer him first team football, then happy days. Love offering him, by the way. I just haven't accepted the offer yet. But Kimmich is wanted by Watford, Gladbach, Lech Poznan and Hertha Berlin. I just don't want to sell him, honestly. He's my star player on the left. A leading player for this division. Inconsistent, yes, but why would I sell him when he can still improve? Potentially, I think he can still improve. He can still improve, right? Close to his full potential. Does that mean I should just get rid of him? No, surely not. He just had his best season. Why would I sell him now? When there's no one really that can actually take a spot. Oh, he's a good player apparently now. But he's older. That being said, squad planner. We are at the 1st of July, mind you. So that's why we're here. So every player that is here can at least see said they are not out on loan or anything else. But we could be looking at sending out a load of players on loan again. That are players wanted. Michal Novak is one of those players wanted. Now, admittedly, I don't plan on letting him go. He's a star player for this division. Yes, he's 25, but he's capped for Poland at 12 times now. Gladbach and Werder Bremen want him. And I think only Gladbach could really get him. He's also happy with my treatment of Kimmich, so there you go. Werder Bremen have just been promoted, I think. Let me just double check this. No, they've been in the top flight for ages now. But Werder Bremen looking to do more this year than they have done in recent times. Great facilities though. I need to get to that at some point. Gladbach being Gladbach are really good as well, so they are going to be a problem to deal with. But here's Philippe though, and honestly, if I was to sell Novak, he could come in. So actually, Novak's departure is not out of the realms of possibility with this guy in goal. Suddenly, my mind is thinking, well, I could sell Novak and have this guy come through, but is he as good? He's just been out on loan, admittedly, so I should probably get him to do more things. But if I could pair him to Novak, it's not as crazy as I'm thinking it is, right? I am thinking this right. I am thinking correctly that it's not as crazy as it could be. The idea that we could sell Novak and have Philippe come in to break through instead. That isn't as mad as it sounds, is it? Let me know down in the comments below, because I will be having a little break between this video and the Super Cup final. So I will want to see your comments down below for this. Apparently this guy's also quite good. So I've got some good goalkeepers now, and suddenly I might have options, and that's mad to me. He's also a good player for this division, so I could send out on loan to the teams in our division. Options are plenty suddenly. Can I be excited? Damien Herman definitely not ready for the first team though. And I should probably send some players down to the second tier. Like this guy. Second tier. Yeah, okay. We got options for this guy who's out on loan last year. Sending down on loan again. We have plenty of things to work on. Sakura, also a goalkeeper that we could probably send out on loan this year. He's been a backup for the last couple of years now, and he's a decent player for the second tier. Could be a top flight goalkeeper, but has got several teams interested on a loan spell. So again, exciting. We got plenty of goalkeepers to work with here. 5 goalkeepers that are probably good enough to be considered future prospects. 2 goalkeepers I should send out on loan, this guy included, and yeah, 3 goalkeepers now good enough for the top flight. So happy days. Okay, so right back, I'm gonna get rid of players that I'm never gonna use there. So there's that. And fullbacks, yeah, these 3 fullbacks. So let's look at that. Kowalski, definitely our first choice. He's definitely a star at this point. Leading player for his division. Wanted by Gladbach and Lech Poznan. He's happy with my treatment of Kimmich. He's also only just 22. David Francek, unhappy with my treatment of Kimmich, but also a good player for this division. So question marks about this one then. Okay. And then we've got Lipka, who could play on both the left and the right side of the fence in the fullback positions. Also a good player. And he's one of our Bordeaux, so questions there. So we got a few more players this time. I'm going to take out Franzik because he's not going to play there. Blitka, we've already just discussed. Nida, centre back and left back. Potentially better as a left back, but also a good player for this division. He's also 25, so do I move him on? That's a question now. And let's work on his strength potentially. No, I think he's crossing his work still. And they got Erdogan, who needs a loan spell. Absolutely needs a loan spell. A leading player for the third tier, so definitely needs a loan spell. Rakov. Is Rakov in the second tier? They're back up there now. Okay, Rakov are finally back up. They got relegated 2 years ago. They didn't get promoted first time asking either, so Rakov could take Erdogan on loan. He's unhappy with my treatment of Kimmich, so actually one of the players I'm looking to get rid of, I think. Okay, so centre backs, we've got a few players to talk about. Ernest is one of those players that I'm happy with. He's won by Frankfurt and Dusseldorf. He's a leading player for this division now at the age of 18. We might struggle to keep hold of this guy in the future. I should give him a new contract now I think about it. Smorda is also a leading player for this division, won by Clement Foot. We've already rejected a few offers from Clement Foot this season, so that's a thing. Niger we talked about, but definitely a good player for this division as both a centre back and a left back. Victor Madura, unhappy, but also a good player for this division. He's won by 12 clubs on loan, so he might get a loan spell again. Le Havre have already put an offer in. I have not accepted it just yet, but it's one of those things I need to work on, I think, and decide if I want to let him go out on loan. Sebastian is one of those players I'm really happy with. Apparently he can play as both a right back and a centre back. He's also unhappy with my treatment of Kimmich, but he's also only 18, so can definitely grow. I think this guy is a bright star in the future, and I apparently should work on his aerial ability, so let's do that now. Sebastian, what to do with you? So, another player that we have on loan last year in France, no less, in the second tier. He actually had a decent season, played a lot of times, started most of the games, if not all the games, and we can definitely work with him. Now, admittedly, I'm jumping over the players trying to get this sorted out, but I also like talking about these players and saying what we can do. But this guy, won on loan by a team in our division, has also got 14 clubs after his signature. So actually, should I let him go out on loan? I'm not going to sell him, that much I will say. But yeah, we're definitely not going to let him leave on a permanent. But a loan spell, if he starts, absolutely considering it. Now, Jacob is definitely surprisingly good. You would think that a 2-star player is not good enough, but he's a decent player for his division now. So, honestly, could work in this guy. And despite the fact he's listed for loan, I actually will give him some first team football this year, I've decided. He's had 2 loan spells in the last 2 seasons, and while he's not been impressive, he played in the top flight last year and had a bad average rating, I think he's ready enough to get some first team football this year, and I can work with that. So DM, there are some players that are not listed on this, but I will be using. So we're going to go to Jasinski and Smorda. Bolek is probably the favourite for the role, and he's a legend at the club by the fans' projection. He's happy with my treatment of Kimmich, but he's not the only person that I will be using here, and he may not even be my starting choice this year, given his age. Despite the fact I gave Bolek a new contract, Damien Adamsuk will be the person we'll be using to become our first choice, and given his potential, it makes sense. He's a good player for this division and could be a leading player, so Damien Adamsuk is definitely a starting player for this division this year, and he's one of a few players that I will be using throughout the season. Dennis Naroki is a player I'm considering using for the first team this year if I don't send him out on loan in our division. He's a good enough player for this division now, and he's a 2-star player, so Kudrika could actually take him on loan this year, and I would be open to the idea of sending him out on loan. And Adam is probably the only other player I would consider to use at this point. Could be a deep line playmaker if I needed him to be, but whether or not he needs it, I don't know. But yes, a good player that I will use every now and again. We've got a few options either way, and I'm happy with this. It's just a shame he tore his thigh muscle in training before the season started though. So midfield's a bit busy here, so let's talk about midfield now. Smollett is definitely our best midfielder at this point. A leading player for his division, wanted by Real Betis, who we just played in the friendly and who are also our parent club. I don't plan on letting him go, but as a box-to-box, he's useful. Mariusz Jasinski, another player I'm happy with, and while Dusseldorf and Hesko want him, he's my first choice Mazzala. He's also only 21 and has got caps for Poland. He's also apparently listed as a DM. I don't use him as a DM. Mazala is his role for me. Hubert Koenig is a player that we still have every now and again to use. He's a good player for this division. And with Vorcek leaving us, he definitely is going to get some first team football again this year. And I like him. He's been useful over the years for me. Even if Pagon Swetsin wants him. But we've got some young players to talk about. And the first of which is Benecki. Really useful player. Is listed for loan and has teams wanting his signature. Now they're all down in the second tier, admittedly. I think, admittedly, sir, are in the top tier they are. So they will be my preferred option in that regard. But do I send him on loan? Because he can play in the midfield, he can play in attacking midfield, and he can play up front as an advanced forward. So, do I keep him around the first team? I'm starting to lean towards keeping him in the first team. Miha Smolek is also a player that we will keep around in the first team. Mazala, and mostly in Mazala, but he can play out wide as well if I need him to. So, he's had an offer for Anderlecht I've turned down. Lech Poznan and Lech Wrocław also want him. He is unhappy with the treatment of Kimmich, but I'm going to ignore that and just use him in the first team, I think. So the right wing is looking very bloated right now, and we'll have to talk about this a lot. Davidovich is our best player here, but he's also considered a 4-star current ability striker. Do I use him as a striker, or do I use him as a winger? I need your opinion on this one, because I'm actually considering using him as a striker once Kowalski and Jasinski retire or leave us, because this guy is just really good there. But it would also be a waste to not use him on the wings with his attributes right now. But if we were to use him on the striking role, we got a few players coming through. Bekotowski is definitely one of those players who's a good player apparently. I don't know how that's happened, but he is. Consider that. And he can play on both wings. He's also had a loan spell for the last year or so, and I actually did give him some first team football this year, so definitely a player I would definitely use. And we also got this guy, Smolzinski, who is considered a decent player for this division, has also got a lot of potential, and maybe someone I should just use in the first team. He was out on loan last year, didn't have the best of times, but he got some first team football and was playing regularly, so has helped his development a lot. I think this guy is one of those players that I will be using a lot and will 100% try to ensure he's in my first team plans. Jakub Zielinski, both left and right wing, good player for this division, likes big matches. Could get a loan spell again though, so who knows. Now, this is the guy that has got my attention more than anything else because he's only 16 and has not got a professional deal yet, but could also play in all three positions up front. Can play as an inverted wing on both sides, and I need to get rid of that trait. I need to get rid of that trait because of the fact he cuts inside. It makes no sense to keep it, so I'm actually going to do that now. Yes, I'm already getting rid of the trait, so that's what's happening there. So all we get rid of the trait, I am making sure we do that. I don't know how I forgot I've already doing it, but happy days, we're getting rid of the trait regardless of the guy. But David is looking very, very exciting. I think he's got a huge future for us. As either an inverted wing on the left and right, and as a striker. Ivan Popic is a midfielder, an attacking midfielder, and a winger, who can play as an inverted wing if I need him to. But he's also not got the best of crossings. He's also only 17. So, do I send him out on loan this year to get some first team football? I'm 100% considering it. And then we got Radoslav, and winger, and a striker. Mostly a winger because it'll make use of his attributes, but I'm excited for this guy because I think he's been really, really good for me, and I like the look of him. Okay, so left winger. We already know that Christian Kimmich is upset. He can play as both an inverted winger and a striker. I love the fact that I can do that now. It says a lot. A leading player for this division, wants to go to Watford. I'm not letting him go. He's got 3 years left in his current deal and has an optional extension by a single year. Zielinski, we've already talked about, can play on both wings, as can this guy. So, happy days, we've got options. But we've also got this guy. Nazgoda is looking useful, could be good, a decent player for this division now. And we can absolutely make use of that. We just need to make sure he's not going to get overwhelmed, and we'll be happy, I think. Really happy indeed with this guy's development. But I've also got Thomas Bozem, who looks like a future star. Quadrica also wanted to take him out on loan again, which is useful. I like the look of the fact that we have all these options now. It's a very promising side to say the least. So we got all these strikers, and Robert Kowalski and Dariusz Jasinski are 2 number 1 strikers. So Robert Kowalski was really good last year. Why he decided to become good this year, I don't know. But he's become a leading player now for this division, but he's also 29. He's coming towards the end of his career in the next couple of years, and what the heck do I do with him? Do I just replace him with David Davitz up front, or do I do other things with him? The same can be said for Dariusz Jasinski, 29 years of age, loved by the fans, hates big matches, consistent, but he's only considered a good player for this division, and he's 29. Both my leading strikers are 29, and I am trying to figure out how to work with this. But okay. Good news though, we got 120 million in the bank, so I love the fact we got all this money. Shame we can't upgrade our youth facilities again, because we're working on our normal facilities, the training facilities, because they got downgraded for some bizarre reason because of technological advances. But who likes that sort of thing? Honestly. At least the new stadium looking like a decent sized stadium, eh? It's about 8,000 more than currently capacity, but if the potential could be up to 30, 40,000, I'll be very happy indeed. Either way though, I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys will like and share this video, and that you will subscribe to the channel. It really does help me a lot. But anyway, until next time, goodbye, and well, good night.